The fight for the White House playing out in must-win battleground states today. President Trump heading to Wisconsin for what looks to be a big rally. And Joe Biden's trying to win over voters in Pennsylvania. Lately, the Democratic nominee has been courting Americans in the middle politically, telling them he's a moderate. But progressives in the party want Biden to be more liberal. Senator Bernie Sanders warning Biden that he has to do more to excite progressives. And Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying this.
I think overall, we can likely push Vice President Biden in a more progressive direction across policy issues. I think foreign policy is an enormous area where we can improve. Immigration is another one. Criminal justice is another area where we can pursue a lot of progressive direction. You know, there are some areas where we just fundamentally disagree, but that's okay.
As Election Day nears, some Democrats are having deja vu. Biden supporters in Michigan say the campaign nearly invisible in that state. And Politico reporting, quote, Dems fear Wisconsin governor is becoming a liability for Biden after his response to unrest in Kenosha. So, Jesse, I wanted to start off by just saying Sanders, Michael Moore, AOC, they all want Biden to stir populist energy. But wouldn't that risk Biden losing moderate support that has him right now achieving the #1 goal of Democrats, beating Donald Trump?
He'll do whatever they tell him to do. The election is very funny when you think about it. You have very stark choices. President Trump is someone that cannot be controlled. He's out of control, and that's what drives so many people crazy. His advisors can't control him. His lawyers definitely can't control him. The deep state, they tried to control him. I mean, he doesn't do what people tell him to do. He marches to the beat of his own drum. Contrast that with Joe Biden. Joe Biden is totally controlled. He has his advisors putting scripts in his teleprompter. They tell him to stay in the basement. He does it. His VP controls him. You know now it's the Harris-Biden administration. AOC controls him. Bernie controls him. He'll do whatever Barack Obama says when he calls him on the phone at 1600 Pennsylvania. So it's basically like someone who's can't be controlled versus someone who is totally controlled, a leader versus a follower. And if you look at Joe Biden's policies since he got into this race, he's gone far left on immigration, guns, taxes, and the climate. And now AOC say he's going to get pushed around on foreign policy. Where exactly? I mean, Donald Trump killed terrorists, cut peace deals, and brought our troops home. Where exactly does AOC want to push him? It's basically another change election. Donald Trump remains the agent of change, and Biden wants to go back to the failed radical policies that got us into the mess in the first place. And Dan Scavino said something very interesting at the RNC. He said, they say it's chaos, but President Trump calls it change. And that's what's going on here, because he's forged new paths for trade, for immigration, and for foreign policy. And there's a lot of resistance to that change in the country, in the Democratic Party, and within the administrative state. So there's that clash, but the people behind Donald Trump want that change. They're fighting for something because it's a movement. And that's why they're so much more enthusiastic than Joe Biden supporters.
Well, Dana, to Jesse's point, Biden's made it pretty clear he doesn't support defund the police. He doesn't support the Green New Deal. He doesn't support Medicare for all. And I was thinking, if he did support these things, wouldn't it make him an easier target for Donald Trump's claims that he's a socialist, or, you know, Trump has a new ad about Biden being weak on China? Wouldn't that just open the gate to Trump attacks?
Well, I think Jesse makes a lot of good points, and I believe that AOC is a little bit more of a good, she's probably a better strategist than people give her credit for, because what she just did there was to subtly reassure people that are in her sort of wing of the camp that don't worry, everything's going to be fine. But that leaves Biden and Kamala Harris then to be out there saying other things, and especially there in Pennsylvania. I do think that Joe Biden comes across as somebody who can be pushed around, partly because he's not very forceful. He's not forceful when he talks about the positions that he would take. And when he does try to be forceful, he almost sounds angry. So I think when you look to the debate, which will be, is that just like, it's only like less than, it's about 10 days away. if one of the things President Trump can do is to get Biden to react angrily, that will be probably something like a point in President Trump's favor in that debate, because